Hey, welcome to episode 3 of Is It Because of Jesus? My name is Pedro Garcia, and today we'll go over chapter 3 of my book, For Those Who Doubt, Is It Because of Jesus? Today's conversation takes an unexpected turn. That's the title for the chapter. Thomas, our sincere doubter, brings a new voice into the mix. His fiancée's brother, Landon. Landon's presence forces us to confront a different kind of disbelief, one forged not in curiosity, but in pain. This chapter is a serious dive into the psychology of grief, bitterness, and the hidden burdens we all carry. Spoilers ahead for those who haven't read the book, so let's dive in. Okay, for our first moment, we have Landon's arrival. He doesn't enter the conversation with questions. He enters with accusations. His first real contribution is to call his own sister pathetic. He then immediately stereotypes Peter, saying, "See, Thomas, all Christians are the same." Landon is not engaging in dialogue. He is engaging in antagonism as a defense mechanism. His immediate use of mockery, stereotyping, and aggressive language is a way to control the environment and preemptively invalidate the people in it. So, this isn't an intellectual search for truth. It's an emotional strategy to keep others at a distance. Existentially, he is building a fortress of cynicism around himself. By labeling everyone and everything as predictable and foolish, he is protecting himself from the vulnerability of a genuine, open conversation where his own beliefs or pain might be exposed. This shows us that not all doubt comes from the same place. Thomas' doubt is inquisitive. Landon's is a shield. The second moment comes from the most unlikely source, Lourdes, the barista. Unaware of the tension, she cheerfully recognizes Landon, and she says, "You look just like your father. Oh, I saw your mom and your sister visiting your father's grave last Sunday." By the way, I had so much fun writing this character. Really, Lourdes is very much like me, but not entirely. But clearly, she has things I can relate to. Absolutely. But this is the moment the entire dynamic shatters. Lourdes' innocent words act as a profound psychological trigger, bypassing all of Landon's intellectual and cynical defenses and striking the raw nerve of his unresolved grief. The chapter says Landon is left speechless. All his aggressive energy vanishes, replaced by a stunned silence. This reveals the true source of his bitterness. His fight is not with theology, the Bible, or Christians. His fight is with the unbearable pain of his father's death. His anger at God is a manifestation of what some call misattributed emotion. Probably, I'm not pronouncing that one well. Misattributed emotion. That's what I meant. One of the two. It is safer for him to be angry at a cosmic concept like God than it is to face the terrifying helplessness and sorrow of his personal loss. Lourdes, in her simple kindness, accidentally unmasks the wounded son hiding behind the angry atheist. The third crucial moment comes when Peter, after enduring Landon's relentless attacks, finally loses his patience. He raises his voice and says, This has nothing to do with atheism, God, or anything else. You're just afraid since your father died. You're just trying to blame everything and everyone around you because you are scared out of your mind. This is a shocking but psychologically significant outburst. It demonstrates that empathy and patience have limits, even for a person of deep faith. But more importantly, Peter's anger is not just a loss of control. It is an act of penetrating insight. He correctly identifies the existential terror fueling Landon's entire demeanor, death anxiety. Hey, perhaps because Peter also has it. Landon's worldview has been shattered by the finality of his father's death, and he's terrified. Peter's outburst, while messy, serves to name the unnameable fear that Landon has been burying under layers of intellectual rage. It's raw, unfiltered moment that rips the conversation away from abstract arguments and forces it into the heart of the real human pain that is driving the conflict. I said to you I was going to mention this quite a lot, but in my years of having conversations with non-believers, people that are doubting, and people that are deconstructing, I rarely found people whose entire motivation was intellectual. And there's an actual tendency to hide our emotions behind what I have been calling the shield of intellectualism, because it's very easy to do that. I would encourage you to consider both all the time as you're asking your questions. The fourth crucial moment is what I think is an important theological and psychological reframe. When Landon calls the Bible horrible, Peter unexpectedly agrees, but redefines the term. He says, the Bible is horrible in that it doesn't shy away from all the evil and suffering. If I had opened the Bible and saw that everything and everyone was perfect, then God wouldn't have done a good job describing what humanity is capable of. You know, what Peter is doing is rejecting a false binary. Landon sees the Bible's difficult content as a reason for dismissal. Peter reframes that same content as a sign of its profound realism and authenticity. He validates Landon's emotional response. Yes, some of these stories are difficult to swallow sometimes, but he provides a new framework for understanding their purpose. This technique, known as cognitive reframing, is powerful because it doesn't deny the person's experience, but instead offers a different, more constructive way of interpreting it. It suggests that a credible faith is not one that ignores the darkness of the world, but one that confronts it head on. Which, by the way, that's what Jesus did exactly on the cross. The final moment of the chapter is a quiet, devastating discovery. After the chaos, Thomas finds a bottle of medicine that Peter dropped. Depression medicine? What? What are you telling me, Peter? This is a profound revelation that deepens both the book and the podcast's central theme of empathy. Throughout the story, Peter has been the guide, the stable friend, the one with a seemingly resilient faith. This discovery, though, completely deconstructs that image. It reveals that Peter, the believer, is also fighting a deep, internal, and hidden battle with depression. This is existentially crucial because it shatters the illusion that faith is a cure-all for human suffering or mental health struggles. It places both the doubter, Thomas, and the believer, Peter, on equal footing. Both are men wrestling with profound pain. It forces us, the readers, to see that the journey of faith is not about achieving a state of perfect peace, but about navigating our brokenness with hope. This discovery is the ultimate call to empathy, reminding us that we never truly know the full weight of the burdens others are carrying. Sometimes we don't even know truly how burdensome it is to carry what you and I are carrying. We sometimes just feel it is better not to think about it or to do stuff just to try to forget about it. But your mind and your body won't forget it. It is better to face it with calmness, patience, and without being afraid to ask the right questions that get to the heart of the matter. Okay, as you saw, this chapter is filled with raw, messy, and even angry emotions. Landon's bitterness, Peter's frustrated outburst. It can feel very distant from the gentle Jesus, meek and mild, we often imagine. But this is precisely where an honest look at Jesus provides a surprising and powerful hope. When we read the Gospels, we see Jesus express a full range of human emotions. He felt joy, he felt sorrow, he also felt anger. One of the most famous examples is when he entered the temple and saw the money changers exploiting the poor and turning a house of prayer into a marketplace. The Bible says he fashioned a whip of cords and drove them out without hurting anyone, overturning their tables. However, notice the difference. Jesus wasn't being violent, just like a judge is not being violent when he or she sentences a person for having committed a crime. Do you get angry at injustice? Well, God too. His anger was directed at injustice, hypocrisy, and the barriers being put between vulnerable people and God. Jesus' anger shows us that God is not afraid of our emotions. It tells us that anger, especially anger at injustice or things that desecrate what is holy, is not inherently sinful. It is a profoundly human and at times divine response. For someone like Landon, whose anger stems from the perceived injustice of his father's death, or for Peter, whose anger is sparked by disrespect and the pain he sees in his friends, the story of Jesus in the temple provides a space. It tells us that God is not a stoic, distant being, but one who is passionate about justice and truth, and who is not afraid to meet us in the fire of our most difficult emotions. Well, thank you guys. What a great time together. Thanks for hanging out and listening. And hey, this doesn't have to be the end of the conversation. I'd love to hear your story. You can shoot me an email anytime at isitbecausefjesus@gmail.com. If you want to find more information, you can also go to isitbecausefjesus.com. If you got something out of this episode, you can help the show in 2 easy ways. First, forward it to a friend who might appreciate it. Second, tap that leave a review button on your podcast app. It's a small click that makes a huge difference in helping others find us. Finally, this show is powered by listeners. If you want to help keep these conversations going, please consider joining our community on Patreon. Just search for Is It Because of Jesus to become a partner. Your support means everything. I wish you the best until we talk again, okay? And remember, if you are a Christian who is doubting or deconstructing, is it because of Jesus?